Hey everybody, Jim Edwards here. Welcome back to the Sales Copywriting Content Marketing Hacks podcast. I'm your host, Jim Edwards, along with my trusty co-host and podcast producer, Mr. Stu Smith, and this is episode 136. Can you believe we've done 136 podcast episodes?
Moving right along, Jim. Moving right along.
There you go. Someday we'll catch up to your podcast, which has like 5,000 episodes.
Not quite. 230.
There you go.
230. Yeah.
All right. So what are we talking about today, Stu?
Podcast 136 is what makes a good hook. Okay. Different types of hooks to consider. The fear hook, the failure hook.
A left hook? Yeah. A right hook?
The failure hook, the curiosity hook, the hook that uses numbers or introduce new things. And of course, do we have a wizard for that? Is always a good way to end this one. But anyway, so just curious, what do you think makes a good hook?
What makes a good hook? Well, first, in case you've been living under planet, I don't know, deep dark rock in a cave, and are wondering what is a hook. A hook is whatever you use to stop people in their tracks, have them hopefully get pre-framed a little bit for what's coming next, and then it gets them to stop what they're doing and pay attention to you. So a hook can be a headline. It often is a headline. It can be the first words that come out of your mouth when you're doing a video. It can be a picture. It can be a video. It can be an image in a video. It can be a piece of, movement, animation. It can be a drawing. It's anything that if you now imagine people, they're leafing through a magazine, they're sorting through their mail, they're scrolling through Facebook or scrolling through web pages. It's whatever will stop them from doing what they're doing, break them out of the hypnosis that they're in, and get them to at least start paying attention to you and start the conversation with them that you want to have, which is hopefully the same conversation that they want to have. So that's what a hook is. So you asked, what is my favorite hook? Is that what you asked?
Well, that or what makes a good one. So yes, I guess it would probably go into your favorite zone if you have a hook. But the reason why I asked that is I was doing my own research prior to this podcast and just researched some hooks that are out there, not only on ad pages, but just some articles that are out there. And it seems like there are many types of hooks that I've seen hooks that get you with the fear factor, get you with like the failure, like putting failure in there or putting success in there,
right?
And you have a kind of a rule on that as well. I like
right.
And some other ones I've seen that are just, they throw numbers in there, like 5 days to seeing your abs again or whatever,
right.
That's a hook.
For some people, it'd be 5 days to see your feet again.
Yeah, there you go. Whatever.
So I'm going to give you an answer that is going to sound academic in some respect. That my favorite hook is the hook that enters the conversation that is already going on in somebody's mind or is just below the surface and literally has them saying, this is something that I'm interested in. So it's the thing that there's this underlying hum and buzz going on in everybody's head, subconsciously and consciously. Consciously, they go to Google and they do a search for, like ab training or get abs. And then there's the subconscious one where it's all of the emotional hot buttons and sore spots and everything that are always just below the surface, that as soon as something touches it, it immediately comes to mind. Either one of those, that qualifies under the conversation going on in somebody's mind. I think it was Eugene Schwartz who talked about that. So the bottom line is there's all kinds of different ways to use the hook. And yes, Facebook user, I don't know who you are. Coffee is your friend today, and you need to know your avatar. Yes, you do. And when you know your avatar, you're able to like throw these hooks into the water and see which one works the best. But it also depends on the context. So like a number hook might work, but the only reason the number hook works is because it's combined with a hot button. The only reason a question works is because it's combined with a hot button that's important to your audience. So the actual angle of the hook or the veneer of the hook, the mechanical hook itself, the question, the number, the shocking statement, all these other things will only work if it's about something that the avatar cares about, that is important to them. So I could say, 5 steps to, or five homeopathic cures for menopause. And I mean, I know you can't use the word cure, but I'm never going to be in menopause, so I don't care. It's not a hook. It's not a hook for me. Now, if my wife was dealing with menopause and it said, "Attention, husbands of women going through menopause. Here are 5 homeopathic cures to help her feel better." All of a sudden, I might, if my wife was in menopause and was having a lot of problems, then I might pay attention. So that's just the hook by themselves, or talking about it without talking about it in context of your avatar is worthless. It doesn't make any difference. So a better question would be, what is your favorite hook for your avatar? And now we talk about, okay, well, my avatar has these problems, they have these pains, they have these false beliefs, they have these long-term desires, these short-term desires, these questions. And now I can use the questions as hooks alone. I can use the number stuff. I can use a negative, a positive spin, how to get this without that, how to avoid, how to become, what you, the ideal avatar that you want to become. So those are, that's why it's so important that you can't have a discussion about the hook without also including the avatar at the same time. Not the answer you were looking for, but
no, that's great. That's a great addition, because you're right. I think a lot of us, look for titles or hooks, and they don't really consider, what is the reason you're creating this hook.
Well, and it's also the
Why
context of where are you going to be using it. So you might have different hooks for if you're trying to do viral videos, as opposed to if you're doing stuff in an email, as opposed to if you were doing something on a sales page. The context is going to can be different. Sometimes it would be the exact same thing, but other times it's so if somebody's going to YouTube and they're looking for stuff on how to I don't know, how to do pull-ups. Okay, then you're going to see hooks that might be different than where you might use them in an ad or something like that. So on YouTube, you might see if you want more pull-ups, ? Don't do this. As opposed to on a hook on an actual sales page might be how to double your pull-ups in 2 weeks with the pull-up push.
There you go.
You see what I mean? So those are 2 different hooks in 2 different places with 2 different purposes. One's to try and get consumption of a video, and the other one's trying to get people hooked in with a benefit to actually buy a course.
Nice.
So that would be a specific example. Yeah, that's pretty good. I pulled that one out of my butt real good on the spot, right?
Really good. I like that. Because one thing that I did in this research, I also looked back at some of my best hooks, that brought the most engagement, the most, next steps to doing whatever I was doing were geared towards my avatar. You're exactly right. And one of them was, have you ever seen a Spec Ops candidate cry?
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was right out of Halbert, just
The Halbert
lighting it up,
headlines.
lighting it up. And then the other one was, oh, and you got to remember, I talk to kids that are late teens, early 20s.
Hmm.
So sometimes my language is a little bit different. Um,
Cringy.
I wouldn't say cringy, but it's like this. Like a recent one I just posted up was, dude, you're not in swimming shape, right? Almost just shaking them. Like, I don't care if you can run and you're a great athlete.
Right.
There's a reason why you can't swim across the pool 10 times, right? You're not in swimming shape, right? It's like just smack them a little bit to kind of teach them you got to get in swimming shape. You got to put some time into it. Another one was, and here's a good one because, like I said, my avatar are fear of failure, right?
Sure.
Primarily because
Yeah.
there's, and the other one is 2 reasons why 85% of Spec Ops candidates fail.
Oh, dang. I know that got some readership.
Yeah. so So that was a good one too. So you're right. It has to link to your avatar and what you're doing. I was posting some articles, posting, some programming, you know, that went with those posts or those hooks that made a difference. To just getting people interested, like you said.
Yeah,
Which
and
can
that's
make it, I'm sorry, which can make a difference between 10 people clicking it on social media and 500 people clicking it.
yeah, and a bunch of people sharing.
Yeah.
And I think again, knowing your audience and where they are on that particular part of their journey with you. So it's interesting at the beginning of the journey. I'm just gonna intuit this. But at the beginning of the journey, they're like, I saw Navy SEALs with Charlie Sheen, and I want to be a Navy SEAL. And so then they start watching, they watch that YouTube thing, that class two, whatever,
34.
234 or whatever it was. And then they start, they see American Sniper and they see, Lone Survivor and Act of Valor, which I've seen all these movies multiple times.
Same.
And so then they actually say, okay, I'm going to do it. Then they start investigating it or asking stupid questions like what's the
Oh, yeah.
minimums, and if you get a hold of them, they won't even go in the freaking auxiliary air force thing at the Air Force auxiliary. But then I think there's probably a transition to, I got to do this, I'm gonna do this, now I'm scared I'm gonna fail. Like the ones who are closer, the ones who are further away from the goal are more attracted to the outcome, and then as they get closer, they're attracted by the outcome, but they're also scared crapless of the failure part because they realize that just getting to the training is more than most people could ever do in their lives, let alone getting through the training. So I'm just curious, have you seen that there's a shift in messaging with hooks that work depending on where they are in the process?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I have been, it's very psychological, all
Mhm.
of this, whether you're talking about the journey or you're talking about the hook,
Mhm.
both are psychological. So I have seen that you tend to, um, at first be overconfident in your abilities,
Mhm.
and then you become underconfident
Right.
in your abilities. And so the problem is finding that you're going to start off on the left, you're going to go far right, and now you're going to be underconfident, and then you got to bring yourself back to the middle,
Right.
being confident, but not cocky. So there's this spectrum that you're trying to take them on, and that journey is in there. They're going to go on that journey psychologically.
How does that correspond to their first PT test? When does when they're like, because I remember the very first PT test I ever took, and I was like, oh my God, I can't do crap. And I was trying to run 2 miles in flat soccer shoes and indoor soccer shoes. I'd never really run before, and it was a real wake up call.
Yeah. Well, part of my programming is they take the practice test so many times that they know what they're going to get when they get there.
Right.
And
Okay.
that's the goal, is to get them there crushing the PST before they've ever taken an official PST. And that makes their life so much more easier. But anyway, that's not the
Yeah, but I'm just curious.
discussion of
But
this.
no, 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 no.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
important because I was making a point,
Oh,
and that
sorry.
is that people are on a journey, and you need to understand that people are on a journey when it comes to you working with them, um, and the messages that they're going to respond to are going to change depending on where they are in the journey. As I drop my high-tech tools. So if you think about it on a timeline, okay, and here's the goal that they want to get. All right, and over here, they're starting out and they basically are clueless. And so what you can think of this as a straight line, you can think of this as the hero's journey, where they're going to go through trials and tribulations. So with some people, it could be just these are gates that they have to go through in order to get results. And so your job is just to walk them through these gates. Depending on, that's a lot with a lot of technical stuff. Like if you want to end up as the author of your own book, first you got to come up with an idea, then you got to come up with the way of getting it done super fast, which we have ways of doing that. And then how do you get it up on Amazon? And then how do you actually get people to buy your book? And then all of a sudden, you pop out the other side. So it's just a step-by-step thing, depending on where they are, if they're at the beginning. But then there are people who are at various parts on the journey. And so what you got to do is, at this point, you're going to communicate with these people by saying, here's 15 ways to come up with a great idea for a book, or 10 ways to make money with your own book. Then with how to get the thing done, it's like, 10 ways to create a book without writing, or how to write and publish your book in 7 days, or, those kinds of hooks that kind of person who knows they want to write a book, boom, they're getting it done. So now these people, when you're talking about getting on Amazon, how to publish your book on Amazon, how to publish your book in print, how to publish on Kindle, how to make your book an Amazon bestseller in 72 hours. And then this one is, how to actually make sales. It's going to be, how to drive traffic to your website, how to get, how to use Facebook Live, how to do webinars, how to do all these things to actually promote your book. So these are all mechanically based, but they're typically based around a payoff, a positive, okay? But here, if we're thinking about it on a hero's journey, you've got people falling off a cliff. They got problems immediately, and then they got pain, and then they got roadblocks, and they got long-term desires over here. I mean, there's just all kinds of things where you can catch people depending. You got to know what their journey is. You got to know what process they're in right now to be able to communicate with them. And that's important to understand that as well. I'm going to point out that this is like $25,000 a year coaching level stuff right here.
That's huge, man. I love that.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Anyway.
That's funny because I've written articles on just about every one of those stages and put
Right.
it on the confident, underconfident, overconfident spectrum, put it
Right.
on the optimist, the pessimist, and the realist spectrum. Yeah, I've done a whole lot of all that. So yeah, it's very interesting how psychological it all is.
Right. As opposed to someone who's just looking to increase their pull-ups. I mean, that's how I met you, was I was trying to increase my pull-ups. That's how I found you. I wasn't you know, it was a real straightforward thing. Yeah, there was a little ego involved with, I just want to get better at pull-ups so I can reclaim my youth when I was 20, 21, you know, when I was in the best shape of my life, kind of thing. But ultimately I was looking for a linear thing. It wasn't related to my hero's journey or anything like that. So you just got to understand where people are. So
Yeah, Carlin had a good one.
sure. Thanks,
Yeah.
Carlin. Carlin's
Yeah.
awesome. So, and Craig says, fire. So anyway, that's some good stuff. What else you want to talk about that? We could talk about some specific scripts that we have to help with creating hooks.
I think that
And
would be excellent.
can show one that we normally don't show all that much, which is traffic secret scripts. And I have some really good examples in there of hooks related to the avatar. You can get information about this at trafficsecretscripts.com. But the bottom line is your dream customer profile, which is your avatar. We have specific hook scripts in here. We have pure curiosity hooks, question scripts, or question hooks, viral video hooks, and YouTube discoverable video title hooks. And these are all very different depending on what you're trying to get done. So like with the pure curiosity hooks one, and again, if you have Jim Ellis Method Premium, content marketing scripts, funnel scripts, you can export your avatar and import it over here into Traffic Secret Scripts and vice versa. So if you've already got your avatar totally honed in, you can import it in over here. So, but, oh, look, target a Spec Ops candidate. Well, look at that. Character, former 97-pound weakling. So we click build, and this thing makes a whole, you know, want to be a special forces operator? You have to see this. Check this out. I mean, this is the stuff where you're just trying to hook people off of just
Gotcha.
in general, an ad, a tweet, an email, whatever, off of an article. Want to pass the selection process? Watch this. Want to crush your fitness test? Want to build up tactical durability? Watch this. Want to build up? Here we go. Let's see. Want to be a special forces operator? Former 97-pound weakling shows you off the wall time saver to get mentally tough in 2022. Okay, just boom right there. I mean, this thing I spent, God, man, just days and days and days doing this in. You know, former 97-pound weakling pulls back the curtain on crazy trick to get mentally tough in 2020, 2021. And you're like, oh, I'm not a former Navy SEAL. Okay, well, former Navy SEAL. Because that's obviously the person who's going to have the answer that we're looking for, right? So, want to be a special forces operator? Faster than ever, former Navy SEAL spills the beans on off-the-wall system to get a Spec Ops contract. Check this. You know, now again, this is a hook. This isn't the course. This isn't the video. This is the hook to get the people to pay attention.
Right.
Of what was coming. So now we look at these kind of hooks as opposed to the question hooks, and they're, again, sometimes it's just gradations of difference. All right. So I'll throw that in there. Do you want to serve your country with like-minded people in an elite team setting? That could actually work. So we got, do you want questions? Do you feel, have you ever? Have you ever wondered how to pass selection on the first try? Yeah, I bet they have. Ready to discover how to get mentally tough. That's not bad. Let's see. Ever wondered how to get rid of physical weaknesses such as swimming or running? Again, for the right person, that's going to resonate. So
yeah,
you got a whole bunch of different questions that you can use. And then the viral video hooks one is different. So again, it's within, but you can see, okay, these are viral video hooks as opposed to other hooks. So now it's like a message to special forces operator. No, that's not it. Aspiring special operations candidates. Nothing lasts. A mind-blowing explanation of how to crush your fitness test. Watch this. That's the whole purpose, is to get somebody to watch a video. It's not to get them to buy. It's not to get them to do anything. It's to get them to watch a freaking ad, or to, well, in this case, it's to watch a video, but check this out or download this. How much does it cost to get a Spec Ops contract? Um, before you serve in special operations, watch this. Or before you try to serve in special operations, or before you try to go to buds, watch the. I mean, you're going to catch the right people at the right time, knowing what the hook is. And then there's hundreds of more hooks down here that you could never. A fifth grader explains how to serve in special operations. That would be seriously, that would be a really good hook. And then the last one, which I'll show you real quick. Okay, I guess it's easier to do that. I had somebody make fun of me for using a mouse. You believe that?
Really?
I told me I was like an old person for using a mouse. I guess they're using only trackpad or whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you can have a trackpad on your desktop.
I dropped an F-bomb on them. Forget about you. Anyway, and then this one is for YouTube discoverable stuff. So these are all based on what people would be searching for. So if somebody's looking for pass your fitness test, pass selection, crush a fitness test, the stuff that someone actually be looking for a term, you want your term in the hook. So that, because if your term's not in the hook, you ain't going to find you on YouTube, right? And then, but you've also got to make it hooky. So crushing your fitness test, passing your fitness test in a weekend, even if you're starting from zero, crush your fitness test for beginners. And there's just a bunch of different ones, but it's all based on crush your fitness test tutorial, pass the selection process. So this is all about taking the things that people are searching for and turning them into hooks. Because the kind of hook that you might use on Facebook would work great because it's about the feed. But on YouTube, a hook that doesn't contain a keyword that somebody's actually looking for doesn't do you any good.
Yep.
So this is, for those of you who asked, this is Traffic Secret Scripts. Traffic Secret Scripts, you can go check it out at trafficsecretscripts.com. And right now, it's only $197 one time. It's all based on all of the scripts inside of Russell's book, Traffic Secrets. But it's got, I think, 26 scripts, 2, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, like 24 wizards, 24
Nice.
scripts. So yeah, it's a great deal. Yeah, it is a bargain, Luis. So anyway, I don't really push that as much as I should, but if you want to become an amazing hooker, that is the collection of scripts for you. All right. A hooker's a fisherman, Stu.
Yeah.
It's
also a position in rugby.
Yeah, it's a position. Were you the hooker in rugby?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's usually a smaller guy.
Oh, okay.
Gets in there in the middle of it.
All right. Yeah, imagine so.
Yeah.
Cool. So, I mean, I think that's pretty good podcast today, Stu. I think we had a really good hour.
I like it. Hey, you want to see something funny? I posted the other day. I always like sharing funny stuff with you. So anyway, let me prep this one before I show it. Okay. So there's a whole lot of bonuses that the military is using to get people to come in to the military.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and even some spec ops jobs, not all of them, but some of them.
Okay.
And so, I told some recruiters I'd hook them up, and let people know about what their what some of their options are.
What specials they're running?
Yeah, what specials they're running. They're offering hooks as well. The military is offering hooks as well. So
All right.
let's see this. So this is a funny one. So this is me when I tell my guys there are signing bonuses now for some of the spec ops jobs they are seeking. And they say, "Really? I do this for free."
There you go.
It's just me like national anthem, crying,
There you go.
give me hope for the future. So it was one of those kind of a touchy-feely posts where I just was like, "Hey, thanks for
I
thanks
like
for
it.
considering to serve. You give me hope for the future, and all that." So there you go.
That's awesome. Awesome,
Yeah,
awesome, awesome.
yeah. One of my
So
guys want to be a ranger, join the Rangers, and they didn't have any ranger slots back in the summer. So I just said, just be patient. When
Ranger
October,
school or
yeah,
just
Rangers,
Ranger contracts?
no, actual ranger to get a ranger contract and go to the battalion and be a
Okay.
regiment,
But
be
he's
a
got to
ranger.
go through RASP first,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
And I said, just be patient because October's coming and it's a new fiscal year. They'll have billets in. And not only did they have new billets, but they gave him $30,000 just to sign and ship by November. So he's ready in the summer, and they gave him an extra, I think it's 20,000 plus 10,000 to ship in a month.
And he
Took it.
and he
Leaves November 1st.
So he got 3 or 4 extra months of physical training and toughening him up and stuff.
Just by
So
being patient.
you think he'll have any trouble getting through RASP?
No, man, this guy's stud.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then does he actually, once he gets through RASP, then they'll figure out when they'll have a slot for Ranger school?
Yeah, but he'll still be a ranger in the
Right.
battalion. And then, he has to get tabbed at some point, but it's no rush.
Right. Good for him, man. That's awesome. That's
so a little patience pays off.
Yeah. And that's funny. That brings us all the way back to what we talked about in the Jim and Stu show with the product launch, especially with a partner. We're also, let's go. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this. But one of the biggest things I will tell you with 2 of the biggest launches I've ever done in my life, one of which was Funnel Scripts. I really had to work on my patience, and the patience did pay off, but I almost blew it by not having the patience. And you gotta, if you're doing stuff with other people, you gotta be patient. You gotta be patient with other business cultures, with other people's calendars, with other people's way of doing things. You just have to be patient, persistent, but patiently persistent. Because if you push, that's how you end up screwing stuff up. So that's a great way to bring this full circle, that persistent patience is the key when doing something with another big organization. So there you go. Great job. All right. Well, on behalf of me
and Mr. Pickles, I want to thank everybody for being here for the Jim and Stu Show and the Sales Copywriting and Content Marketing Hacks Podcast. So, on that note, everybody, we will see you next time with the Jim and Stu Show.